welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I'm your host, WIZE. And I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who's been very supportive this past month. Yesterday marked the month since my mom has passed, and it's been a rough couple of days for some of us in the family. But I greatly appreciate everybody's support, everybody's messages and love. It's felt throughout my family, and we greatly appreciate it. My apologies to to Kimberly Charvette. We were supposed to do a show earlier today, had to cancel. My apologies for that. I'm looking forward to when we reschedule and have a wonderful conversation. But my next guest today, I'm excited. He's a fellow podcaster. He's a mindset coach, a speaker. Welcome to the show, Larry Davis.
Hey man, thanks for having me, man. I've been looking forward to this, man, for a while now, and I'm glad to be here. And first off, man, I just want to say, man, I'm sorry for your loss. My condolences. There are no words to say. I'm just sorry, and I love you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. Greatly appreciate it. It's been rough, but she was going through so much, so it was. I, I'm I was blessed to have her in my life for 47 years.
Yeah.
She lived till she was 84. So my mom lived her life to the fullest. She had no regrets. So I'm at peace. But it's still rough. It's
Yeah,
definitely rough
I
at
can
times.
imagine. Yeah.
But brother, we're here to talk about you and talk about your journey and how you're out there helping people and you're helping them change their lives. So how did you start your personal journey to basically get into mindset coaching and all and what sparked you in wanting to help others?
Okay. Yeah, man. So I guess kind of what got me started along this journey, man, is just it was through my failures, basically. Um, I was just kind of probably about let's see, 10, 15 years ago. I was just kind of going through life, kind of going through the motions, man. Just you know what I'm saying? Just not knowing what I didn't know. And I've always had drive. I've always had a desire to do a lot of things, to learn. I had a desire to grow, but I just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know where to find those resources to help me. And so basically, man, I went through a series of like just bad things happening, man. I went through a divorce. I uh I ended up, I was broken in debt and stuff like that, man. And just I realized that these things was happening to me, man, all because of my choices. And it wasn't that I was choosing to, make mistakes, because nobody chooses to make mistakes. Mistakes happen. But I realized that it was a result of just me not having the wisdom and not having the knowledge in certain things. And like going through a divorce, man, I just realized that I didn't have any self-awareness about how I was, as a man. I didn't have any self-awareness of how I was, you know, uh portraying myself as a husband. You know what I'm saying? I had good intentions, but I didn't know how to be a husband at that time. And so I just realized, man, I had a lot of growing to do, and I ended up in debt and stuff like that because I didn't have any knowledge on how to handle my money. You know what I mean? And
That's
so,
I'm sorry, but that's something that we're not taught. That's something where I'm from, East New York, Brooklyn. We're not talking finances. We're not. That's something we're not engaging in. That was not something my parents knew about. They worked, and their thing was go to school, get an education, get a good job, retire, and none of that is the truth. We haven't been taught proper finances and how to manage our bank accounts and how to manage any of that.
yeah, you're right, man. Like same with me, man. My parents did what they could, but um, we didn't. It was no teaching me about, okay, this is how you invest money. This is how you save. This is how you get out of debt. This is how you not get into debt. like all those things, and it's not their fault. Because like you said, so many parents and so many people, we weren't taught those things. And so I just realized that, based on that, man, I could have been further than I was at that time. And it was just because I just didn't have the knowledge. And so kind of going through all those different things, man, and just those challenges in my life, man, I ended up falling into like a depression, man. And I was depressed for like 2 years, and just kind of through all of those negative things happening. And just, while I was depressed, I just realized, man, I need to get up out of this. And how I started to kind of climb my way out of it, I started reading the Bible. I grew up in church. My grandmother, had me in church at a young age, and I grew up and so I always knew, kind of what to do. And so I realized, man, I need to read the Bible. And I started reading the Bible just to try to find myself, try to find out, okay, where did I go wrong? Does the Bible have something to say about, the mistakes that I've made, and how can I be a better person? And that's kind of where it started. And then after going through that, reading the Bible and stuff, I started reading other books. And so I started reading other books, and the book started making sense to me. And I was like, man, I'm reading these books and I'm getting all these light bulbs popping off of my head. Like, wow, man, this is what I was missing. Like, if somebody would have showed me this a long time ago, this is what I was missing. And so, and then I went from the books to I started listening to the podcast. And I'm like, man, where is this stuff been all my life? You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, man, the resources are out there, but people just don't know. And I think I started. I was like, man, if I would have had a guide or somebody to show me where to find these things. And now, man, if you look behind me, man, there's, I got all my books and stuff. And since then, man, I've read, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of books, since then, since, about 10 years ago, I've read so many books. And now I'm like a personal development junkie. And so after I started kind of, reading all those books, listening to podcasts, I started going to conferences, and I started doing all those things, man. I started realizing that I want, people don't know about this stuff. So that's kind of how I got started with, man, let me help other people. Let me be that guide to other people that I needed in my life, just 10 years ago. And so that's kind of how I got started.
So what's a personal book that's besides the Bible? What's another book that you've read that's made an impact for you?
Oh man, um, I'll go back to the first book I read other than the Bible. The first book I read uh, was Destiny. It was by T.D. Jakes, a pastor. But it's not, the book is not about scriptures and the Bible and stuff like that. It's about, destiny, about, reaching your destiny, fulfilling your purpose in life. And so that's the first book I read, and I've read that book so many times since then. And so that's just like my most favorite book. A book called Destiny. It's not probably it's a well-known book, but it's probably not, people know books like Atomic Habits and Good to Great and all these type of, books like that. And I've read those too. Those are some good ones. Atomic Habits, definitely. I think that book has been on the number one, the number one spot for a while. And so just books like that. Another one I read was Mindset by Carol Dweck. That's a good one.
I have that one.
You got that one? Yeah, that's definitely a good one.
I have on the side of me, I have my books as well, and there's so many that have impacted me. Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah,
I have so many other ones that have really that I'm reading and I still have. Like, and you know what the thing is, when people think like you have to go read through the whole entire book, there's sometimes when I go to my book, I highlight certain things that resonate with me that I need to constantly read to help me reinforce some of the thought process and stuff. So when I read, I might be reading multiple books, like because I might be reading a chapter in this book because there's something that I need to work on, and that book has it for me. And then there's this other book that might have a highlight in it that I might need to go back and reference as well. So there are, and like you, I've I've made it my journey to learn and develop and want to grow. And the way I've done it is going to podcasting conferences, going to networking events, joining Facebook groups with people with like-minded people, because that's the only way you're going to improve, is to get mentored and learn from people who've already done it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And this is one thing that I've just started kind of doing in the past couple of months with the books. So I've read, like I said, I've read hundreds of books, and I kind of go through them. I've read, and the books that I read like I read a lot of leadership books. Read a lot of definitely personal development books. I read a lot of business books. I read books that are kind of spiritual books. I read those type of books, and a lot of self help and stuff like that. I read those books. But one thing and I got this from a book that I read. I think it's called The Miracle Morning, and it's this book called The Miracle Morning. It's about morning routines and stuff like that. And in that book, he brought up this thing about reading a book more than once or taking longer to read the book. And so what I started doing over the past couple of months is I've started, because I used to read like a book a week or two books a week or something like that, just going through them. And he in the book, the guy said, the author of Miracle Morning, he said that sometimes we should, if we read a book and it's a good book, read it more than once. Take your time, like maybe take the whole month. And so what I've started doing one book a month, and I've read that book over, and I just let it marinate, and then I read it again, and then I read again, and then I don't get another new book until that month is over. And so I've just started doing this lately, just so I can let that book just marinate in me, especially if it's a good book. Now, if it's not a good book, you maybe want to go to the next one. But like that's something that I've started doing lately, and I realized, man, some of the principles in the book, some of the things that are just coming to my mind, and some of those things are just sticking with me just from just reading that book, more than once, letting it marinate. I do like you. I highlight it, and then I might read it, and then when I go back, I just read the highlighted parts, or I write the highlighted parts down, and just let it marinate, man, and just really soak in the material and really learn from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's something that I've always been into is reading. And like I said, I'm reading multiple things. If there's something, like if I'm stuck on something, I might go back and reference a book that I know has the keys to help me get through that. And so, yeah, there's times I've read a book completely through, and it's great. But like how you said, it's important that you go back and reference it and read it over. Maybe read a chapter once or twice. Go over it again, because it might not hit you the first time, or you might just be a little. So yeah, take your time with it. It's just you wanting to. If me personally, it's been me wanting to just grow and develop, and just wanting to is. And the podcast for me has given me my purpose, because I didn't know I was working my 9 to 5. I didn't have purpose. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And once I started doing my podcast, it's giving me purpose. It's wanting to make an impact. It's wanting to reach out to people and show them that, hey, there's other people like you out there who's gone through similar experiences of what you're going through, and look how they've overcome, and look at the things they're doing to overcome what was troubling them. And so when I get those messages from people like, oh, thank you for this episode, or if it was a clip and somebody leaves a comment like, I needed to hear this message, that to me is success. Because if I'm impacting one person, who knows who that person is impacting?
Absolutely, man. And that's what it's all about, man, making an impact. And that's how we make an impact. We make an impact through our purpose. And that's the whole reason that we all have purpose. You know what I mean? It is to impact other people's lives. And I always like to say like this: if you don't reach your purpose, or if you're not living out your purpose, then you're not only letting yourself down, you're letting other people down, because somebody needs what you got. Somebody needs the thing that you do. Somebody needs that, because it's all a puzzle. You know what I mean? Like, we're all here for a reason. Like everybody is here for a reason, and everybody is here to play their part. And when you don't play your part, it not only affects you, but it'll affect the people that need the thing that you got. You know what I mean? And so that's huge. That's important, man. That's good.
No, to me, it's I've I've been doing my podcast since 2020, and I didn't know anything about media. I didn't know anything about podcasting. I didn't have a clue, but I was just holding myself back with excuses, saying, "Oh man, I'm not. Who's gonna want to listen to me? I sound horrible. I don't know what to talk about. I don't know anything." Until I finally said, "You know what? Press record." Recorded a 5 minute, 7 minute intro, uploaded it. Didn't have no description, no thumbnail. Just uploaded it, and it was like this big weight was lifted off. Because now I'm like, okay, let's do another. Let's do a little bit longer episode now, and then a little bit longer episode. And just with each episode, my confidence grew to the point now I can do an hour episode and not even blink.
Yeah, yeah, man. And that's all about mindset, man. Like that's it. And that's why, the thing that I talk most about today is mindset. And because we've all at some point had a mindset to where we thought that we couldn't do something. And it's really all in our mind. And I had the same thing. I had the same thing before I started my podcast, before I started things like that, man. I was like, man, you know, is anybody going to listen to this? What do I talk about specifically? And I knew what to talk about, but I like how to present it, all that type of stuff, and it, and it's just okay, just little old me, like what. And we start looking around, and we start looking at people who may have these huge followings and stuff like that, man. And but really, man, that even with people with huge followings, they didn't get that on day one. And so it's gonna take you got like you can't compare yourself to somebody who's been doing something for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, and you comparing your first year or your second year to somebody who's in their 15th, 20 year. You know what I'm saying? And like that, and that's the problem with social media. You look, people only showing you things that are well developed on social media. Like people don't show you the beginning and the start. You know what I mean? And so, it's the comparison thing, and that's why you got to have the right mindset to know that, hey, man, we're all growing, and we're all like, this is a journey. This is not just, this is not just trying to reach a destination. And like you said, the destination really ain't. The destination is not the just the podcast itself. It's the podcast is the journey. And so, like you said, you started the journey. And when you started the journey, a huge weight was lifted off your shoulders, because all you got to do is start, man. It ain't got to be perfect or nothing like that. And that's the thing that just holds a lot of people back. I'm glad you said that, because that holds people back from doing a lot of things that they want to do. That holds people back from leaving their job that they hate, you know what I mean, to step out and get that job that they really want, or step out to live in their purpose and do the thing that they feel like they were called and designed to do. It's that mindset of thinking, man, what if it doesn't work? What if what if I fail? But I'm like this, man, flip that thing around. What if it does work? What if I start to build my confidence? What if people start to listen to me? What if I inspire other people? And then after all that, what if I do make a gang of money? What if I do get, what I'm saying? Like, that's how you got to start thinking. And you got to start changing your mindset to think, what if this thing just pops off? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's definitely been me developing and growing, I went from 500 downloads my first, I don't know, year or whatever. It wasn't much my first year, probably, and then to where now I'm about to start year 4, and I'm close to 30,000 downloads.
That's amazing.
And to me, I'm like, and it has to do with my growth. It has to do with me wanting to learn and expand on what I'm doing, learning audio, learning video, learning what quality of mics, because I felt that people were giving me something very important, which is their time. And so I wanted to make sure that my audio came through right. My video looked good. The I invested in myself.
Yeah.
I made sure I took audio courses. I took video courses. I invested in some coaching, voice acting, voice over work, all these different things. I've invested in myself because I just felt like this is something I want to do. I
Yeah.
want to develop and grow. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I put in the time and the effort and invest in myself.
That's it, man. And at the end of the day, man, that's really all you're responsible for. You're responsible for what you put into it. And the results, will speak for themselves. The results are gonna come. But your responsibility is what are you putting into it? And then at the end of the day, man, when you realize what you put into it, like you said, all those things that you put into it, you took the time, you spent the money, you did all these things, man. The results are going to take care of themselves, and you've done your part, and you know what I'm saying. And so that's what it's all about. And it's not just worrying about the results because they're going to come. And if you put in that work, you put in that time, and if nothing else, you're growing, and you're getting stretched. And so that's good, man. Hey, man, I congratulate you. I celebrate you, man. On your success, and man, I know you're just gonna keep going like this. You're gonna just keep going up, man, because you understand that you understand, what it takes to grow. You understand what you need to do to put in the work and invest in yourself. So that, man, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Brother, I was disorganized. I had to build a schedule, get my calendar right. I'm still learning stuff. I know eventually I have to get me a VA to help me with the bookings and all this other stuff. But this is something I had to learn. Like, we met through Pod Match. I know Alex Sanfilippo, great dude, and it's that using Pod Match has helped me grow because it's given me some great guests. Like I've had some great conversations. I've had people come on and we've spoken for an hour, and it's helped me. I've enjoyed it. I've learned from it, from these conversations. I've learned from what people talk about and all the wonderful things that they're doing out there. And it inspires me. So it makes me want to be a better host. Now I know my next step is me going out and being a guest more on other podcasts. Like I've done my show. Now it's time for me to go out and spread the word and go to other people's shows and be a guest on other people's show and show people what I'm about and what my show's about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and hey, and we ready for you, man. We ready for you because you got some things to share with people. You got some success to share with people. You got a story to help people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really all people are looking for, man. People will relate to you more than anybody else because you can show them that journey. Like you said, man. I went from not knowing how to even start a podcast. I didn't know anything about media. I didn't know any of that. I went from that to just getting started and getting minimal downloads. So now I'm getting all these thousands of downloads, and I'm growing. I'm growing so much, and that's what people are looking for. People are definitely looking for that because they want to know how it's going to be for them if they start this journey. Like they want to see somebody do that because they're so busy looking at somebody. Like, they're so busy like looking at Lewis Howes or somebody like that and saying, man, I can't start no podcast, because they're looking at people like that versus, people like us, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm no Lewis Howes either as far as in the podcasting world. And so people are looking for somebody to relate to, man. And then eventually, man, you will have all that, that success in that way. But man, that's good to definitely start branching out. And that's how we, continue to just stretch ourselves and continue to step out and grow and learn and do things, man. That's what it's all about.
So we mentioned already numerous times you have a podcast.
Yeah.
What's the name of your podcast?
The name of my podcast is Growth State of Mind.
So obviously we know what the podcast is about.
Yeah.
um, what made you go? Because for me, I know since 2019 I've always wanted to do a podcast. For me it just seemed like somewhere it seems like something I just wanted to challenge myself. I just wanted to step out of my comfort zone and do something that I normally wouldn't do. So that was my challenge, was to start a podcast, and I battled it for over a year, and then we get hit with the pandemic. I get furloughed from work, and I have all this time now, and I have this equipment at home that I purchased a year prior, and I'm like, yo, let me just dive in. Let me just go. Just can't be afraid anymore. Can't make up excuses. Can't keep defeating myself, because that's just and again that's from a lot of where we're from. Like, we don't know many people who are doing these things, who are doing podcasts and stuff like that. So it's gonna be weird to people, because they're like, just when you want to do a podcast. Like, I'm like, oh, I've just been wanting to do it. And like, okay. But then you get other people that be like, wow, that's cool, that's dope. Like, what made you want to do it? And I'm like, I just wanted to challenge myself. I want to make myself uncomfortable and do something I've never done.
Yeah. 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 I know what you mean, man. Because I got people in my life, man, don't really understand what it is. What is a podcast? Like, what are you what are you talking about? You know. Um, and so I definitely get what you're saying, and definitely people like us, that really just don't understand it, man. But and that's the thing, though, man. I wish that so I'm trying to help people, and I am helping people, but I think some people just don't get it, and I really want to help people, the people that look like me. But the problem is, like, I help other people. I help people. I end up helping people who want to grow,
Mm.
people who want to, go higher, go to the next level. Some people, I help people who are already on a certain level and they just want to go higher and higher. Those are the people that I'm helping. But my heart, man, my heart really wants to help people like me who need the information, but they don't even know that they need it.
Hmm.
And that's where I hate that. And I'm trying to figure out a way to reach those people, man. Like, I'm trying to figure out a way to reach the young black dude that like me, man. But it's
It's
hard.
hard. No, it's hard because we're competing with so much. We're competing with so much. It's not easy, and of course they're gonna gravitate to the bling bling. They're gonna gravitate to the celebrities. They're gonna want to do what the a- and it's hard. It's hard because they're they're looking at it as they want to see the instant gratification. Like, you're trying to show them how to get there, to get to the gratification, but there's work to be done. And all they see is these celebrities and these rappers and all these with all this stuff, and they're like, oh, Balenciaga and and it makes it hard for us. It really makes it hard for us to compete against that, but we can't stop. We got to continue to spread the message, show what we're capable of, and what you're capable of, because it's in you.
Yeah.
It's in you. It is truly is in you, and that's my goal, is to want to make an impact. And I'm realizing, as much as I would love to impact, you're gonna end. I don't want to say it wrong, but
No, you good,
sometimes
bro.
you just, huh?
I said, no, you good. Say it. Like,
Sometimes you can't save everyone. Sometimes you get this. It's like you try and try and try, and unless they want to be helped, unless they want to grow and develop, it makes it difficult. I'm saying so. I, I've
man.
I've learned that You can't help everyone. You as much as you want to, it ends up dragging you down.
That's it, man. That's it, and that's why that's that's so hard about our community, man. It's just that, and some people, man, some people they don't even. Some people like have a desire to like do more. Like some people might even have a desire to read books and stuff like that. But then they looking around at their homeboys and stuff and like, man, I don't know, man. If I start reading a book, man, how they gonna look at me? You know what I mean? And they start thinking about that type of stuff. Um, but you're right, man. You can't save everybody, and uh and all we can do, man, is just continue to just show ourselves to them, show ourselves to show them like, man, this is what it can be like. You can have something better. You don't have to do stupid stuff. You don't have to think, what I mean? Like, you don't have to do things just to be cool and stuff like that, man. Because what's really cool is you being a stand-up guy. What's really cool is you taking care of your family. What's really cool is you making good decisions, man. That's what's really cool. What's really cool is you taking care of your kids. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. That's what's cool. That's what I mean. It ain't cool to be walking around here looking stupid. And so that's not cool. And eventually that's gonna catch up with you because eventually you're gonna be 50 and 60 years old and you can't be and still trying to be cool and you know what I'm saying? And so, man, that's the hardest thing, and that's where I try my best to try to and this is what's so hard when I'm trying to create content. I'm trying to create content. There's some people who get the content, and so I try to find that balance between relating to the people who already know what I'm talking about, and then kind of relating to the people who I want to reach. And so, I try to make it a little, what I'm saying, like I make sure all of my if I'm doing a clips or anything on I try to make sure all my clips have some type of beat, what I'm saying, into it, so they can like your intro. I love your intro, man, because just stuff like that to just let people know, man, that this ain't no watered down. Like what I'm saying, we got some swag too,
No,
but we talking about something real.
no, I've invested in wanting to make my show better. I can't tell you how much that was important to me, was to make sure that I had an intro. I wanted it to look as professional as possible, and I get great compliments on every. And that's what I want, is to show people like, listen, man, here I am in my house, in my own home studio, doing pretty successful podcast. I'm having I love this. I love the fact that I'm able to do this from my home and make an impact and show people like, this can be done. You don't have to be at a major network or anywhere else to make an impact. You can be in your home, streaming to your channels, streaming to your platforms, streaming to the people that you're trying to reach. And so for me, it's great, man. It's great. It's amazing to be able to do this,
Yeah,
and
man.
I'm blessed to be able to do this, and to when I'm. That's why I started my production company, was because I wanted to help other people launch podcasts and shows without going through the hiccups and everything that I went through. And I've evolved. I've learned new tool. I'm learning about new tools every time they're coming out. I use to help me save on time and stuff. I got me I got Opus Clip, and I take my MP4, upload it. It clips 20 clips out for me that I could use on social media. Now that's an hour. That's probably 3 or 4 hours of me having to rewatch video and picking out certain clips. And this, here we go. We have an AI generated system that picks out the stuff that they feel might go viral or feel that's worthy of, maybe these are some great nuggets. And for the most part, it's been on spot. It's been on point. And so it's helped me cut back time on having to do all these clips. I upload my MP3, 10, 15 minutes later, it's got all the clips for me. with the title and everything. It gives me closed caption. So now I have closed caption going across it. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
these are the things that I've learned from other podcasters or connecting with other people or someone saying like, yo, check out this program, check out this, or check used it. I've last year, December December 2022, I started um sending out weekly emails of the content that I've created, and that was something I didn't do before, and it's helped me grow my listenership. I've learned how to collect emails and and build my audience like that, and eventually, if I ever do offer a coaching thing or something else, I have a list that I can. Hey, look, this is what I'm offering.
yeah, yeah. And that's business, man. That's how you do it, bro. That's definitely how you do it. And I'm using a lot of those same things, man. I use I think what I use for my clips, I use video AI, but it does kind of the same thing, man. You
Yeah,
probably heard of that one too.
yeah.
But
No, I did.
yeah, yeah. So, man, that's what it's all about, man. Just growing, just learning, getting better. Just always continue to grow, man. And that's what it's all about. And I wish that more people would do that. And that's really that's where the success is. The success is in you investing in your growth. That's what a success truly is, because you'll never see that. You'll never see the success of the limelight and all that if you don't invest in doing the work and using all of your resources to learn, to grow, to network, and all that stuff, man. That's where you're gonna have the success at. And so I love it, man. I love it.
Oh man, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
So, is on your podcast, do you interview people, are you talking just about specific mindset growth, or
So I have interviewed people,
yeah,
but I mostly it is specific. I'm talking about mindset, about growth and stuff like that. Although I haven't interviewed anybody in a while, but I will bring on guests on there from time to time. But I'll say probably it's mostly just it's me, that one on one with the audience, myself, just kind of teaching, just trying to putting stuff out there, about growth and mindset and stuff like that. So
okay,
yeah.
awesome. It's so I'm also gonna start something like that where because I want to release a morning show, and it's geared toward it's more focused on me just doing presentation and speaking and all that, not really with a guest. Like this platform here is strictly for me to interview people and
Mm,
have them on and share their stories and stuff like, even though it didn't start that way. But
yeah.
I've that's one thing I've learned in my growth and development is I've had to settle down and niche it up and decide which route I wanted to go with it. And I decided that I wanted this platform to be my interview based platform where I get to speak to guests like yourself, and this is that vehicle. And so, but now I also want to do something where it's more solo and it's more me presenting and talking about stuff that I've learned and show my expertise in those things. And that's my next. Even though I had already started it, I kind of stopped so I could reformat it and get it going, and this should be coming out soon. So
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, I'll be looking forward to that, man. And yeah, it's you know we we can do different things, man. Like we don't have to we don't have to be afraid to pivot or try or just
mhm.
try different things. You know what I'm saying? Try different things. Like I said, I've I've done both. I've done solo. I've done interviews. I just try different things. And
Yeah.
just see what's working at the moment. And yeah, so not being afraid to try different things. And
So
that's what approach is all.
what do you think? I'm sorry. What do you think is common issue that are holding back a lot of your clients?
Man, I think the common thing is fear, fear of failing. That's what I think the most common thing is fear of failing. People are afraid to fail because, you know, we've been told that when you fail at something, like, it's over. Like, we've been told that there's only thing that comes out of failure is it's just over. Like, you failed a test, you know, and that's it. Take another test or whatever. So we've been told that, but that's a lie because the most successful people in the world at doing what they've done, they've failed so many times. You just don't know. And the biggest thing is just letting people know, man. A lot of people don't even get started because of fear of failure. They're just scared they're gonna fail.
Yeah.
They're just scared. Okay, what if I do this and then it just goes like, and then they're worried about how they're gonna look to other people and stuff like that. Because again, we all got a mindset to where failure is such a bad thing. And yeah, nobody wants to experience failure. Nobody does. But I always tell people that I work with this: you have to change your relationship with failure, because we all have a relationship with failure, but we've all been taught to have a negative relationship with failure. But I tell people you need to change your relationship with failure, and you need to introduce failure. You need to start things, kick the tires, kick the rock, kick things around, and just start stuff and just see where it goes. And don't be afraid to fail. Like when you're a kid, you're not afraid to fail. Like when you're a small kid just growing up before the world starts putting all this stuff in your mind, you ain't afraid. Like you're not afraid when you're playing, when you're trying to build a Lego. Like you're not sitting there thinking, as a kid, if I build this Lego set and it don't look right, it's gonna be bad. No, you're not thinking about that. You're just putting the pieces together and seeing what it look like. And if it look like something crazy, you just start over. And so I think the biggest thing, man, is just people so afraid to fail that people are not even just being their true authentic selves, because they're so afraid of, if I fail, what is it going to look like? And so I think you'll never truly succeed if you are so worried about failing. Because here's the thing: the only way to success is failing, because you learn when you fail. That's when you learn a lot. You learn what not to do. I'm sure, like, you even doing the podcasting, I'm sure you in the beginning you did stuff and it didn't work out right, and you was like, oh man, and you something didn't work out right, or some this button didn't do what you thought it would
Technical
do, like,
difficulties,
and you
man.
did it, and
Technical
then you realize,
difficulties.
oh man, I messed up. So now you learn, oh, I need to do it like this. You know what I'm saying? So you learn from it.
Oh yeah, no. I've had technical difficulties plenty of time. Man. I've had my grandson sneak into my studio, come under my desk, and unplug me. And everything go black. Actually, not unplug me, press the power cord strip button because he seen bright, like he seen a nice light, hit the button, and I'm in the middle of an interview, and power just goes out. And I look down as my grandson looking up at me with the biggest smile, like, "Hey, pop pop," and I'm like, "You can't get mad."
You're right. Right.
You
Right.
can't get mad because it's life. It happens. And even sometimes when my guests, they'll have a dog or somebody into. I'm like, it's life, man. I don't like. Oh, so sorry. I'm like, listen, I don't. It's life. I let my guests know this ain't serious. Ain't nothing serious. Like ain't nothing. Family and all that to me comes before anything. So if they have to interrupt you while I'm during my show because it's something important, I let them interrupt, man. Hey, it's life. I tell everybody just to look. We're real here.
Yeah.
There's no fake here. We're truly ourselves. We're here to really just talk and have a good time and hopefully from people learn from it and see that, man. All right, these two guys had a great conversation. They talked about stuff, regular stuff. They talked about mindset. They talked about, yeah, 'cause that's what we want. We want to encourage people to want to improve, to want to grow, to stop being afraid and take that risk and do that thing you're afraid of doing.
Yeah. 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 Because, man, just being so afraid, man, that because here's the thing, man, you're gonna be scared. Sometimes you're gonna be scared. You just gotta do it anyway. And you just never know, man. You don't even know, man. All of the people that you look up to, all of your heroes, they've done things scared. You know what I mean? They've done things scared, and sometimes, and you'll realize, man, once you do something scared, you'll realize after it's over, man, that wasn't that bad. Like I didn't die. Like I made it through. I didn't die because none of this stuff is gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Just stepping out there trying to accomplish things, like it ain't gonna kill you. It's not that serious.
It ain't.
So just go out. Just you know what I'm saying? Just step out. Just step out.
Yeah, make yourselves uncomfortable, man. Go ahead. Just go ahead, make yourselves uncomfortable. Take that leap. You're not it, it's not failing, it's life lessons. Look at it
Yeah.
that way. If you continuously look at it as a failure, you're not gonna do it. So if you look at it as a life lesson and learn from it and grow from it and not make the same mistake over and over and over and over and over again, then yeah, like but that's where a lot of people are stuck in is that they continuously go for what they know.
Oh yeah, man. Just familiarity, man.
Yeah.
Because people are so afraid of the unknown. So you got people, man, people who are um people, you got all these crazy sayings like I'd rather stay with the devil I know than the devil I don't know. But you got people who will stay in a bad situation because it's so familiar. They'll stay in a bad people will stay in a bad relationship, a toxic relationship because it's just so familiar. People will stay in a bad job that sucks. They hate it. They don't make that much money, whatever. But it may be familiar or it may be secure. Especially government workers. Government workers are the worst. you know, they like, oh man, I got my government job, man. And, it's safe. It's secure. It's safe. You know what I mean? And yeah, okay, it might be safe, but then you probably got a skill set that you can go out here and make twice as much as you making on that government job. And you know, so you get stuck with these golden handcuffs because you scared. Like you have a fear of stepping out and and so that's just a shame. That's a shame. And it's just crazy that people, are willing to stay in a bad situation versus stepping out there and like what's going on over here. This is a bad. What's going on over here, but they're afraid to step out of what the unknown, and the unknown could be amazing. It could be everything that you ever wanted. Like it could take your life to a whole other level. But because you know what this is over here, like people, oh, I know my people. Oh, I know where, what I'm saying. I'm gonna stay over here in the hood because I just know my people and all that.
Mhm.
When you could be living over here in a nice house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's crazy that we have these limiting beliefs, and instead of going out and pursuing our greatness because we're afraid to fail, instead of going out and pursuing who we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do, because we're limited because the people around us are limited. So when we surround ourselves with people who kind of kill your dream because they're afraid to chase their dreams, so they're gonna go and stunt you and pull you back and crabs in a barrel and just pull you down with them because they're afraid to go out and chase their dreams and chase their purpose because they're afraid of failing because they don't know what's out there. Nah, you have to go. You have to take that leap. You have to go and challenge yourself, make yourself uncomfortable, want to learn as much as possible and see what's out there for you. Like there's so much more to us than what we are seeing, than what we're taught actually. Like it took us going to have to seek this knowledge. It wasn't that someone was just handing it to us. We had to yeah, I was lucky where I had my first wife introduced me into the world of self-development, and that kind of got me started in wanting to change my mindset and improve and all this other stuff. But life has a way of punching you in the gut and taking you back down a notch
Mm.
and humbling you, and you just have to get yourself back up
Yeah,
and and dust the dirt off your shoulders and get back to the fight, get back to the grind.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, and like you said, man, it's just we we weren't taught these things, man, and that's why both of us are doing what we're doing today, man. Just trying to let people know, man, like you can have something different. You can do something different. There's a bigger world out here than just your limited experience, man. You can learn more, you can grow more, you can do more, you can be more. Um, you just and that's why I love doing what I do is because yes, I do know people that are out there that don't know where to look to get these things, and that's why that's why now my life's mission is to show other people the way, show other people the way to growing, to having a better experience, and to living a more fulfilling life. That's what
Yeah,
it comes down to, just life fulfillment. You know.
definitely, definitely. Man, this has been look at that. We're almost into an hour. And it just seemed like we just started talking. But
Yeah.
this is why I love doing podcasts. This is what I love. These connections are these conversations are meant to be had and they're meant to be shared out there because someone out there needs to hear these conversations, needs to hear our message and learn from it and look at it like, all right, these dudes, they regular folk, they regular people, but they've decided that they want to grow and learn, and they've sought the knowledge. They went out and looked for knowledge, and here we are now wanting to share that, wanting to make an impact, wanting to give that out to the people. So now is the time where you get to share your where people can find you. You're gonna get the solo layout, let them know where they can find you, your website, any contact, IG, anything.
Yeah, man. The probably the number one place that people can find me, the most place that is easy to find me, that you can send me a DM, is Instagram. And my Instagram is I am LA Davis. And so just get at me on Instagram. I'll say it again. My Instagram is I am LA Davis, and send me shoot me a DM, and then I can you can get and see what I have there. But other than that, man, the YouTube, the podcast, Growth State of Mind, you can find it on YouTube. It's also in Apple and Spotify and all the other places where you get podcasts. But YouTube, definitely where you can see the videos and stuff like that. Just go to Growth State of Mind to get that. And that's so those are the places where I'm most active in those two. But definitely, man, shoot me a message on Instagram and we can connect. Yep.
Definitely, definitely. Brother, this has been great. I've had people come on twice, 2 times, 3 times. I love having repeat guests. I would love to have you back on the show, man, whenever you can. It'll be great to have you back. Come back. Actually, so one of the things that I'm doing with my AM show, because it's gonna be a morning show, is
Mhm.
I'm gonna reach out to past guests from Stuck in My Mind and probably do a little 15-minute interview with them and share it on that platform. So
Okay.
maybe we can set something up and we could do that and shoot that and share that as well.
Yeah, man. Just let me know. Let me know, man. Let me know.
Definitely, I'll hit you up and let you know. But brother, man, it's been great, man. I appreciate you stopping by and talking and it's been I love this, man. I love being able to have these conversations and I'm blessed to be able to learn from people like you.
Hey man, I had a blast. I learned a lot from you, man, and hey man, this was fun. So thanks for having me on.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. But don't leave just yet. We'll chat a little bit off the air. But let me just close out the show right quick. So once again, thanks for being a great guest.
All right, no doubt.
All right, now it is time for shout outs. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Facebook user. I don't know. I think it's one of my nieces. I'll look. I'll find out later when I look on Facebook, and I'll send you a message. Everybody who's gonna tune in later on in the replay, thank you for coming through. Shout out to our Real Wise fan, Poppy J, Brandy J. Love you guys. Shout out to the boss lady. Appreciate you and love you for everything and all you do for us. And as always, a big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless you. Be safe. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.